Welcome to 2022, folks.
If we made it that far.
we haven't yet, but maybe you have. Tell us how it is when you get there. Welcome also to the finale of the trilogy saga that is Allison as our listeners episode correspondent.
The beginning of a new year and the ending of a saga with me.
Officially on February 1st, Christine will be back for the listeners episodes. So thank you, Allison, for subbing in. It's been very convenient since we lived together. So probably the easiest 3 months it's been of recording this, except maybe not really because we're doing this in a pinch. Allison literally has to leave for the airport as soon as we're done recording this to go home for Christmas. So it's been easy, but also we still found a way to wait till the very end.
We sure did.
So it's New Year's. Hopefully everyone had a good New Year's Eve and partied it up, unless that's like not your vibe. And I hope everyone went to bed before midnight then. I don't really know what your scene is, but hopefully everyone had fun.
Whatever it is, we hope you started your year the way that you wanted to.
Do you know how you're starting your year, Allison?
No, I'm going to be with you, so I'll be doing whatever you're doing.
I don't know what we're doing. We need to talk about that because I had plans and I think they've been changed since, but we are going to be on the East Coast and fumbling around. So if you see us on the street somewhere in the Virginia area, it's probably because we still don't know what we're up to. So
will this be the first time we've been together on New Year's? Aside from that one time we drove back from the airport together?
Allison, go forth.
At midnight?
Are you talking about the one time I said, this is the first time we've ever had New Year's together? You better be awake at midnight to kiss me or I'm going to lose my mind. And then you fell asleep at 11:30? That's the time? That's the time you're talking about?
I wasn't going to mention that, but...
Well, you really opened the door wide open for me to talk about it.
The first time we'll be both awake, I assume.
This is the first time, let's put it this way, if I'm lucky, who knows... This will be the first time in like a good 7 years I've had a New Year's kiss. The last time I got kissed on New Year's, Allison, was not you. It was celery kisses.
That was the last time? You didn't get any kisses from your friends or anything?
I don't think so. I think Brandy kissed me once because you were not there.
That sounds right.
But hey, I'd like to kiss my girlfriend. It's been a hot minute. It's been like a good decade since I've kissed someone on New Year's that I was dating.
I don't know when the last time I kissed someone on New Year's was. I'm not really a New Year's person.
Could have shot your shot about 2 years ago, but someone got sleepy, so.
Well, I kiss you every other day of the year.
Okay, so Allison, you do have a New Year's drink available for yourself. I thought you were making me a drink. No?
I asked if you wanted one, and you shrugged and walked away. So you didn't get one.
Okay, well, I took a nice swig of New Year's water before we started recording. So
hydrating.
What did you make yourself?
Mine is a grapefruit vodka tonic.
Allison, I was going to say Allison loves gin, and then I realized you didn't say gin at all.
I do also love gin.
Allison's favorite drink is gin
right now.
So vodka tonic?
Yeah. It's grapefruit.
Good for you.
It's good.
It looks New Year's-y. It looks very champagne-y.
That's sort of what I was going for. I didn't have any champagne because it's not New Year's yet.
And we don't really ever have champagne here, do we?
We do sometimes. Remember that one time that I decided I was going to learn how to make champagne cocktails and then I bought 2 bottles of champagne?
No.
For just myself.
That sounds right. Okay, well, I hope everyone's having a good holiday. Hopefully we had fun last night, honestly.
Hopefully I stayed awake until at least 12:01.
Check my Insta stories if you're listening to this on the day that this comes out, because we'll all know then if I did or did not get kissed at midnight. I will probably complain about it if you fall asleep again. So just to give you some motivation to stay up. Okay, so thank you, Eva, in advance. Eva is... I don't know where she is either, but she picked some really good stories for us to start 2022. Just like last time, we are not going to manifest a damn thing for 2022. We're just going to white knuckle it and hope for the best.
I feel like by talking about it, you're right. Like risking it.
So here we go. You're absolutely right. So our first story, do you want to go first again?
No, you can go first this time.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I get to be the first story of 2022. Nice.
Yeah, it is your show, so...
Wow. Thank you. Finally, I feel seen on my own show. So this is from Amy, who is a double pronoun kind of person. You know, I love a double pronoun. They, she. I love when they comes first. So Amy's subject line is, I may have accidentally made a haunted Pokemon cartridge. I really was meant to read this one first.
Wait. Hang on. Okay. You were.
Yeah.
Explain to me what a cartridge is. Is that the ball?
I'm assuming this is like a Game Boy.
A game?
Like a cartridge you put in a Game Boy. Like,
oh, okay. I thought it was like Pokemon lingo that I wasn't familiar with.
If it is, I'm about to feel real silly because I also don't know about it. But I would, when I think of a Pokemon cartridge, I think of like from like when I played Game Boy, you'd put the game in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm about to look. Well, we'll see.
Okay.
So Amy says, hi, and that's why we drink crew. I'm a new listener, and when I found out that you guys asked for listener submissions, I thought it was the perfect time to bring up a ghost encounter I've kept under wraps for years now.
Ooh.
I'm typing this out on my phone while on a train, so apologies if autocorrect makes things weird. Also, Pokemon doesn't appear in the story immediately, but we do get there, so please bear with me. Thank you, because I would have found a way to complain about it beforehand. In 2002, when I was 10, I went on my Girl Scout troop's yearly fall camping trip. In this particular year, the older girls and the cadets told my age group, the juniors, a ghost story based on the campgrounds we were at. It was a really in-depth story that had a lot of focal points around places my troops were familiar with. And it was a story told from the perspective of multiple characters. Fun.
This sounds so elaborate.
Especially for like Girl Scout cadets. I'm like, I feel like this should be like what people do in a writer's room.
I like to think that it's been passed down from like Girl Scout group to Girl Scout group. And then they just like add on to it and make it more and more elaborate every year.
I would like to be the dramatic group of cadets who added a new character one year just because they were like, that perspective's bored now. Like, like it's time for a new revamp. The main connective story for all of these characters was a girl named Jessica who had disappeared on her own Girl Scout trip and had supposedly died or been killed in the electrical room of the swimming pool. Oh, God.
Ooh,
I love when the cadets are kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
They're like, it's like, this ain't your mama's cadets. This story was told us throughout our 3-day stay. And on the following Sunday, we even found a plaque that had Jessica's troop number on it and a find that mystified all of us. Looking back on it now, I'm sure those older girls were making the story up as they went, but they couldn't have made up what I saw before leaving the grounds. While we waited for the groundskeeper to inspect our cabin before we left, I happened to look down on one of the pathways nearby. There were a bunch of these around that lead to different areas of the grounds, like the archery site, the trading post, and the aforementioned swimming pool, though I couldn't tell you which path this one was. At the end of the path, however, there was what looked like a small clearing with a stump and someone all in white with their head hung. No.
Oh.
At first, I thought it was another power generator on the grounds, but the closest generator for our cabin was right outside the front doors. Additionally, this was not long after I started wearing glasses, so I could have been mistaken thinking it was a person. I couldn't go off and investigate myself, but I had this weird feeling whoever this person was had seen me too, and I thought about them for the rest of the car ride home. I started calling the ghost Jessica by association. I love that. Sup, Jess? Even though in the ghost story, there was never a confirmation on if she had actually died. She stayed in my mind for months to come, and weirdly, as we were coming into cicada season, I thought she had followed me home and was trying to talk to me through the cicada cries. Wow, that's Jessica's dramatic. Who's that ghost? As a pretty lonely kid with bad middle child syndrome, I never told anybody what I saw and instead thought of the Jessica I saw as kind of my pen pal.
Oh.
I wish I had a pen pal who also spoke to me through the insects. Maybe that's
cicadas.
What the roaches are.
You'd have to speak back through the cicadas.
I don't know about that. Maybe I could just, I don't know. I don't know how that would end. We'll leave it to the cadets. They'll figure it out. Now for the Pokemon part. Okay, here we go. I specified that this happened in 2002 because that's the year Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire were released. Cartridges. I was correct.
Oh, those are games.
Yes.
Okay.
I got Ruby that following Christmas and played it extensively. Just so you know, the Ruby and Sapphire, every color is its own game. Like the 3 originals were red, blue, and yellow. And then they got real crazy with the colors, obviously.
I was going to say Ruby and Sapphire don't sound like your average colors.
There was also like platinum and silver and emerald and...
Wow. How many of these were there?
That was just like when I was playing them as a kid. So I'm sure there's like, they found every color in the box to use now.
Maybe they like paired up with Crayola. Got real creative.
Pokemon Purple Mountain's Majesty. Okay, I got Ruby that following Christmas and played it extensively, and this was also the first time that I gave my Pokemon nicknames. You can probably tell where this is going. One of the locations in this game is a place called Mount... I never knew how to say this, and now at almost 30, I'm finally being challenged publicly. Mount Pyre? Mount Pyre. Mount Pyre.
What?
Mount Pyre.
Oh.
Pyre.
Sure.
At 10, I was like, I'll never have to learn this. And now,
wow. You put it off way too long.
One of the locations in the game is called Mount Pyre, a burial ground for deceased Pokemon that's, of course, littered with ghost types. And I don't know. In particular, one of the new ghost Pokemon introduced here was Shuppet. I don't know, folks. I only stuck with the original 150. I don't know who this one is. The one I caught was a girl, and the Pokedex entry for it stated that Shuppets are attracted to feelings of vengeance, which I thought fit Jessica's ghost story very well. I named my new Pokemon Jessica, and then within a few days or so, I stopped feeling like she was around me physically. I like to imagine that maybe she saw how much fun I was having playing the game and saw a chance to see what the fuss was about. The cartridge I did this on has been missing for years now in my family home. Don't worry, I haven't given up the search for it, but it's been a tradition for me ever since to name a Shuppet Jessica whenever I catch one in the next Pokemon game, if for no other reason than to let my old friend know I haven't forgotten her. Oh, that's nice. I wish there was like a cicada type of Pokemon, and then that would, like, she's hissing at you, you know? Hopefully she's been able to follow me through the region so she isn't stuck in one world forever. Though to be fair, even that would probably be better than sitting on a stump in the woods forever. Even if her story was all made up, she's real to me, and that has to count for something. I feel like that went on for a while, but I hope my bearing the lead a little bit helped reel you in and made you smile. Thank you so much for all the hard work you guys do, and congrats once again, Christine, on little Leona. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in Chicago one day. From Amy.
Lot to dig into there.
Yeah.
First of all, I like that she took what was supposed to be a scary ghost story and just made a pal out of it.
Yeah. I also like that she led with the hook of, I know Em's into Pokemon. This will probably do the trick.
This does seem like an open door to brag about your Pokemon collection.
It does. I've done it a little bit on the show, but poor Allison, who really has an appropriate disinterest for Pokemon, like just like a normal 30-year-old meh to Pokemon. And I make her look at my collection all the time. It's good.
You're very proud of it.
I'm very proud of it. It's
cool.
It's a good back and forth we've got. I am pretty much completely done with the fossil deck, which is shocking. I'm just saying, no one cares, but I do. There's only like 10 more cards I need. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Your turn, Miss Allison.
You know my little eyes can't read that.
Oh. Aww. Ew. I hate, no one knows what's going on, but I hate what's happening.
My toes in the crook of M's leg.
You know where your neck, you know, oh my God, Allison, it's so uncomfortable.
What if I wiggle them a little bit?
I'm going to throw up. I'm going to grab your slipper with my leg and pull it right off. Anyone else are they dating someone who just likes to stick their creepy toes into whatever nook of yours they can find? That's always the most vulnerable nook. Right behind the knee is something you wouldn't let me do.
I have creepy toes. Let's talk about creepy toes. You've got the creepiest toes.
Okay, my toes are just fine. I love them. Thank you. Your turn. Okay. At least I don't have the audacity, Allison, mid-performance to just shove my feet. Okay, continue, please. God. I
thought I could get away with it.
Well, like I'm on, and therefore I can't scream at you publicly. Wrong. Try again.
All right. Okay. So this one's from Brianna, who uses she/her pronouns. Thank you for normalizing pronouns. And the subject is New Year's Eve, the Long Island medium, and the saddest glitch in the Matrix.
Oh, now I feel like we're gonna be bummed out by the end of this.
The first two I was really excited about.
Yeah.
The last one makes me nervous. All right. Ooh, it starts with y'all. Okay, Brianna.
In all capitals. Just nothing, no hello to any, just y'all, and then the story.
All right. I'm so bummed that I'm going, oh, sorry. I'm not like close. It's not big enough.
Are you kidding me?
Sorry, I
Girl.
can barely read it. All right. I'm so bummed that I'm just going to crack right into it. There will be 2 small time skips in the story. Oh, she's setting us up here.
I appreciate the warning because otherwise it'd be like, where is the passage of time? Like, what's going on here?
The year was 1999.
Mm-hmm.
I can't not read it in that tone. Okay. The year was 1999. There we go. And my parents were at a New Year's Eve party at my dad's boss's house on Long Island. The story goes that my parents were walking around the party when they see a sign pointing toward the basement stating that a psychic had a table below. I like the mystere of like, she's in the basement.
Like they couldn't just keep her like on the main floor with everybody. She had to get hidden.
They have to make it creepy.
Yeah.
My dad has experienced his own spooky shit, so naturally he drags my mom to the psychic to see their future. The psychic tells them several things. When my brother and I will get married, how many children each of us will have, and that we will move south. Now, even open-minded, my dad thought this was ridiculous, mostly because he and my mother had been in New York for most of their lives, and it's where our family was, and there was no way he wanted to move to the south. Spoiler alert, we moved to Texas in 2004. Ooh.
She was right.
He told me that they went to get up and keep partying, but the psychic held his hand and said, Kathy wants you to know that she feels much better and she'll keep an eye on the family.
Ooh.
This is where both of my parents became believers. My Aunt Kathy had just passed from breast cancer, and the only one at work who knew was the boss. Now, any skeptic would say the boss told the medium, which is a valid thought. However, my dad says that he had known his boss for many years and trusts that she would not have weaponized his grief for entertainment at some New Year's Eve party.
Sure.
So, I trust his judgment. He said that he sat back down with the medium and asked a few more questions about Kathy, then finally allowed the medium to move on to other party guests. Here's the time jump.
Thank you.
Now the year is 2011. What's the noise?
What?
Does it work forward or does it only work backward?
Oh, like the rewind
Yeah.
sound instead of it going. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the forward sound is.
I'm gonna go zoop 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 zoop.
Okay.
Now the year is 2011. I've bugged my parents about the details from the medium about 10,000 times because I'm desperate to know if the boy I'm dating in high school is the one. Another spoiler alert, he wasn't. They usually aren't, but
Like 9 out of 10, they're not. That's okay.
they refused to tell me or my brother any information because they wanted to see how everything played out on its own, but that they had written down the predictions and had them stored. Oh, I like that foresight. At some point this year, a commercial comes on TV for the show Long Island Medium. I mostly remember my dad pausing the TV and yelling, "That's her!"
What? Oh, so like
That's the medium.
So they met Teresa Caputo before she was big and was just chilling in people's basements.
In the basement. Yeah, she's
Good for
come a
her.
long
You know,
way.
side hustles turn into big hustles. So good for Teresa.
Mm-hmm. And now it's a running joke in the family that my parents knew the Long Island Medium before she was famous.
Wow.
Oh, zoop, 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 zoop. Fast forward one last time to this past weekend, 2021.
Okay.
So we're still in the past here.
Oh.
Mhm.
Wow. We're going forwards and backwards at the same time since it's 2022.
2021 for anyone who's still out of whack from the past 2 years of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm engaged. Congratulations.
Yep.
My brother has 2 kids. Life is playing out in its own way. I was on a group chat with my parents and my brother while my parents were between retirement cruises. Hell of a life, huh?
Yeah.
And I jokingly bring up the medium and the predictions. Neither of my parents knew what I was talking about.
I don't like that.
Thankfully, my brother backed me up and brought up the TV show and that they had written down predictions, and they still had no reaction. Now I'm panicking because this could be a few things. One, my parents are in their 60s, and not to get too sad, but this could be a beginning sign of Alzheimer's. Well, that's
Ooh, yeah.
dark.
If
Okay.
if it's like a well-known joke in the family and now they're like, what? It would be weird that they both don't know at the same time, though. That'd be very eerily timed Alzheimer's.
That's the next sentence. So it says, however, it would be
Oh.
a hell of a coincidence for both parents to show the same sign at the exact same time.
Yes, especially about the exact same piece of information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2, something spooky ooky happened on that cruise ship, and these are no longer my parents, but some
Oh.
alien replacements.
Oh.
I like that, like, Brianna's thinking out of the box.
Like, truly like I thought there was going to be a real plot twist and you found a bigger one. Like, oh, they're aliens now.
Still unlikely, but a hell of a lot more interesting. Or 3, there was some shift in the matrix where my parents no longer remembered a family famous story, but my brother and I still do. I would think it would be 4. I mean, maybe it's just my parents, but I would think it would be 4. They thought it would be funny to like pretend not to remember it.
I think your parents would find that hilarious.
It would be.
Not to me. I'd be like, excuse me, wake up. What are you talking about? Yeah, I think maybe they were, I mean, I wasn't there. Maybe they were dead serious about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just like parents. Like my dad couldn't name my best friends that I've had for 20 years. Like, I think it's just like, just plain old dad forgetfulness. I don't know.
Unfortunately, that is where the story ends for now. I may never learn what the psychic predicted for my future, which is a real bummer, especially since I've been waiting 20-something years to find out. Even bigger, but less likely bummer is that my parents may have been abducted by aliens.
Let's go with that. It's a lot more fun than your parents just like forgetting a crucial like plot point in your family jokes.
I thought you were going to say it's a lot more fun than Alzheimer's, which
it is also more fun than Alzheimer's. Yeah.
I guess I'll just have to let life play out on its own. Oh, that was a nice little circle back to end the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Live, laugh, lemon. Brianna.
Live, laugh, lemon. Wow. Okay. I liked you until that last sentence there. Lemon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get
Remember
it.
when, okay. Whoa. Remember when we went to a psychic?
I was going to say the same thing.
It said that Allison and I are going to have 6 children, and then Allison's going to leave me with all the children.
But I'll come back.
Yeah, apparently. She comes back after, like, I don't know, feeling bad or something. We didn't find out the whole storyline to that, but
yeah,
if we have 6 kids, everyone start getting nervous for me. I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, I walked away from that going like, oh, that's pretty unlikely.
Like,
and Em walked away from that mad about it already.
It's like, you're overstimulated by 6 kids and you leave me with it? What are you talking about? Okay, so the end.
No, well, yes, but I think it's come to a point where maybe I need to go get my glasses.
Your eyes are that bad?
I struggled through that.
You have 3 pairs of glasses and just choose to never wear any of them, which is the shocking part. Okay.
Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah, well, no comment, Allison. Except, no comment.
You already made your comment, that's why.
Yeah. Hopefully you could read the room and I don't have to say a damn thing. Okay, the third one here, the subject line is The Last Legally Executed Witch of the UK.
Ooh.
That's a big subject line there. This is from Allison.
Hey.
Whose pronouns I do not know. It's okay. We're just going to go with Allison. That's a great name.
Thank you.
The Last Legally Executed Witch of the UK. Hello from Scotland. Hello. Hi. Obviously, I love your podcast. One of my high school best friends, shout out to Rosie, reached out randomly to say she thought I'd like the podcast, and all these years later, she still knew what I liked. That's nice.
Yeah.
Tell Rosie hi. This is the story of Janet Horne, the last person to be executed legally for witchcraft in the British Isles. Let's go back to 1727. Janet lived in a small northeast village in Scotland called Dornoch. Also, like, if this story is juicy and I find even more information on it, I might just be covering this eventually. So thank you for the inspiration in advance, Allison.
Also for spelling out the pronunciations of everything.
I super duper appreciate that. This is the village where I lived for most of my young life and where me and Rosie went to school. Janet had a daughter who had a deformant on her hand. Oh, like something on her hand. Janet was getting older and starting to show signs of senile dementia or mental health issues, which were obviously undiagnosed at the time. The neighbors accused Janet of having used magic to turn her daughter into a pony, which she rode to the devil. What? Hang on.
Wow.
Hang on.
Wow.
As I read it, I went, my brain isn't totally prepared for what's happening. Okay, hang on. Let's try that again. The neighbors accused Janet of having used magic to turn her daughter into a pony, which she rode to the devil. Okay. That's wild to start. The belief was that Janet had messed up the spell to turn her daughter back into a human, hence the thing on her hand. The trial was very quick, and both Janet and her daughter were found guilty of witchcraft, and they were sentenced to be burned at the stake the next day. Whoa, even the daughter?
I know, there's a lot
Kick her
going
while
on
she's
here.
down. Oh my God. The daughter managed to escape, but Janet was not so lucky. She was stripped, smeared with tar, paraded through the town on a barrel, and burned alive.
Jeez.
Whoa. The saddest part is that due to her mental state, Janet is said to have no idea what was happening. Oh, fuck. It is reported that before being put on the stake, she warmed herself by the fire, remarking how warm it was. Wow. Way to
bad.
really bum us out.
Yeah.
What is that sound?
That's the
AC.
sound of the air conditioning. You do live here.
Freaked out.
It makes that sound all the time.
It is worth noting her real name may have not been Janet, as this was a name given to many women accused of witchcraft in the area at the time. 9 years after her death, the Witchcraft Acts were repealed in Scotland. And now the place where she was burned there is a small headstone with the date, and this was put up much later, and the date on it is incorrectly listed as 1722. This spot is now in the garden of a lovely wee woman. I love it. There is a tourist information sign for visitors to learn about, and in 2018, the Court of Our Twin was transformed into a cafe in which there is a large mural of famous faces from our town. The artist included their idea of what Janet would have looked like all those years ago. Thank you for reading and sharing. This story is very important to me and was a big aspect of my childhood growing up. I hope you all live, laugh, lemon, and stay the classy garbage that you are. Thank you, Allison.
That can be our plan for 2022.
Just stay classy garbage. Janet Horn. I'm going to have to look that up because it sounds like there's more details to that.
Yeah.
That sounds like there could be a whole episode on that. So,
Could be.
Thank you so much, Allison. Next story.
We'll see if I can read this one a little bit better. Okay. Follow along.
Have fun.
All right. This one is from Emily, who uses she, her pronouns. And the subject is, I didn't know I had just walked past a quadruple homicide.
Holy crap.
Okay,
Happy New Year to us. There seems to be no theme here, I think. Usually I'm wondering if there's going to be one. And so far we've gotten Pokémon.
Uh-huh.
Quadruple homicide.
Uh-huh.
A witch.
Uh-huh.
I don't see that. There's something else too.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So far, not finding a common denominator, but
2 of them said live, laugh, lemon.
okay. That's all we've got so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello all. 2 years ago, I was subleasing a room in a beautiful, newly renovated townhouse in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. Although the place was new and beautiful, it was located in a very residential part of the neighborhood. There were no coffee shops or cafes within walking distance, and the primary source of transportation in this area seemed to be personal vehicles. I'm hearing that it's bougie. What are you hearing?
It sounds so wanky, for sure.
This was a somewhat unusual experience for me because I've lived in more bustling parts of the city my whole life. Nonetheless, I still enjoyed living in that quiet little ghost town. Mm-hmm. One morning, I left my apartment around 7 a.m. to make it to my early shift at work. At the time, I worked at my school's theater in Manhattan as a box office cashier. I remember speed walking to the subway station to make it in time to my shift. After I turned the corner from the street I lived on, my pace was slowed down by... Oh, sorry, my pace... My glasses aren't helping. I just can't read.
Honestly. You want to try different glasses?
It's not my eyes. It's my mouth.
Okay.
I remember speed walking to the subway station to make it in time to my shift. After I turned the corner from the street I lived on, my pace was slowed down by 2 police officers.
Okay.
I tried to walk around them, but they were walking cautiously with flashlights in their hand. Nothing on the sidewalk seemed to be unusual. In fact, there was no one else on the sidewalk besides 3 of us. Annoyed, I just rolled my eyes and continued to rush past the 2 toward the subway station. When I finally got to work, my mom, who is always updated with my work and school schedule, sent me a text asking if I made it to work all right. After replying, yeah, she proceeded to send me a link to a news article about a shooting that had just happened the same morning in my neighborhood. Turns out, around 7 a.m. that morning, a shootout had occurred inside the first floor of a townhouse that killed 4 people and injured a few others. Jeez. This venue was apparently an illegal gambling bar that operated 24/7. When I finished reading the short article, I quickly remembered walking past the two cautious police officers with their flashlight in front of the same small, inconspicuous venue space. I gasp and come to the realization that I probably walked past the first two police officers first called to the scene before they secured the scene, and determining that there were 4 killed.
Jeez.
Later, my mom joked to me that I probably walked past at the very moment when 4 souls were finding their way to the afterlife. That's a weird joke.
I know. I was like, that sounds like a joke that like any classic baby boomer parent would do. Like,
maybe it was like a "you had to be there" joke.
Yeah. Right? Like, yikes. That would be a joke where I could see either of my parents trying it, and either way I'm going, ugh, at the end. I'm like,
Oh.
thank you for the good spirits of this. Anyway.
Fun?
No, but I'm hysterical. Okay, keep going.
To this day, I still find it so coincidental that I mushed through what later ended up to be a determined crime scene.
Wow, that's awful.
Thankfully, no other related crimes happened, to my knowledge, during the rest of my stay there. I guess you can never be too sure of what's happening behind closed doors, no matter how quiet the neighborhood. P.S. Thank you for listening to my story.
You're welcome.
I just graduated college this summer and have been totally lost in space in all ways. I began listening about 3 months ago, and your show has brought me so much joy and entertainment in this very confusing and transitional phase into true adulthood. Thank you. Sending love to you all.
Well, thank you for the story.
Have you ever lived in a neighborhood that was like, I don't know, odd or like had some shady stuff going on?
Yeah, but it was when I first moved out here, but I think I don't know. I think I saw what I read the room. I could tell that like something was going on, and I just kind of never.
You didn't ask questions.
I didn't ask questions. Yeah.
You were like
eyes open, mouth shut.
Stitches.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just going to be over here. No, and then when I also in college, senior year, I lived off campus, and it was not the best neighborhood, but that was, there were 3 different times I heard gunshots in my complex.
Jeez. In the complex?
Yeah. Also, Mom, if you're listening, I don't know if I ever told her that. I don't know if I ever told, but I remember just being like, I don't know what to do now. It was, anyway, that's probably the first. I've never stumbled across a crime scene though. Have you?
I don't think I've stumbled across a crime scene. The place that I lived in New York a few years back was a little.
Have you seen a dead body?
No.
Oh.
You have you?
Yeah. I thought. I mean, it was really like. I remember looking at the body.
Was it like at a funeral?
No, it was. This is like, I don't want to trigger anyone, but it was someone had clearly been trying to cross a road.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I remember I got there right when I guess the police were also arriving because I heard sirens. I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I looked and I went, and I remember thinking, "That's a dead body," and then I didn't know what to do. I just stood there.
God.
So, but I haven't a crime scene. I guess technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
different kind of crime.
Different, yeah. Wow, I'm just bumming everyone out left and right. Okay, let's move on. Have you ever been in a scary kind of neighborhood?
Yeah. I mean,
cool.
like nothing like wild, but like I mean, I was in a neighborhood where I tried not to like walk outside at night.
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm lucky that I was only in 2 different places where I had that. Every other living experience I've had is what? Oh,
sorry. That wasn't to stop you.
Every other, I think, place I've lived was a pretty nice experience.
Yeah.
In terms of like crime, like roaches, that's its own situation. But
I did live across from a motorcycle bar.
Fun. Or not
which
fun.
Is, well, I mean, I don't mind motorcycles, except that they would like rev their engines in the middle of the night. And I was that person who'd like open the window and be like, shut up. And they'd all just like rev them louder. So Yeah, that was. I
wonder if they
didn't get a whole lot of sleep, but
I wonder if they had a nickname for you at the bar. They're like, we're gonna go piss her off, you know?
Probably. That also happened to be above a pagan bookstore. I don't know if I ever told you that. That was weird though, because
What a location.
It was like never open. It was there. It was
that makes it even more
open.
interesting.
Yeah.
Very mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, here is our next story. This is from Bree, who uses she, her pronouns. Thank you for normalizing pronouns. And Bree's subject line is "Leave a light on for the ghost."
Oh, so thoughtful.
It's fun. I wonder if this is gonna be a theater thing, because a lot of theaters have ghost lights, where like at night after the theater closes, they leave one lamp literally in the center of the stage lit, and so it's like so the ghosts can see while they perform on stage, and it's almost like it's kind of the same thing of like if you leave like those places that like leave houses for the elves or the trolls, or leave snacks out. It's like we're giving you a good thing. Please don't like mess up the theater while we're away.
I feel like that's for all of the theater kids after they die. They just are
maybe.
I need to find a stage.
The show must go on.
But I'm no longer alive to bring the drama, so I still have to do it dead.
Well, apparently that's like, and when we were on tour, a lot of places would show us their ghost light because they knew we were a ghost show at the theater.
That's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Leave a light on for the ghost. Apparently every theater has a ghost. Should have just read the first sentence. And you're supposed to leave a light on for said ghost when you leave at night. I've been performing in one specific theater since I was 12, so about 20 years, and everyone agrees there's no ghost at this theater. It's well, the second you say that, that's the beginning of a horror story. There's no ghost. And guess what? By the end of everyone knows there's the ghost. It's relatively newly built and completely neutral with no hauntings whatsoever. A few years ago, our theater company was producing a show that was very intense, portrayed and discussed unimaginable levels of trauma, and called upon all of our deepest emotional connections to perform the works. Highly recommend the script Sans Merci by Jonna Adams. Shout out. During rehearsals for the show, our stage manager started seeing a black figure up in the booth. It would stand close to her and then disappear, and this was happening on a nightly basis, which we all shrugged off because this theater doesn't have a ghost. See,
I'd be like, it does now.
Like, well, I guess before this, you're right, but now things are changing. Until we each began having our own experiences with this apparition. We each saw this shadow figure and felt a particularly heavy energy one night at our first tech rehearsal. I felt like we were being supervised by this ghost that night, and there was an evil energy surrounding the rehearsal, and something pushed me down a dark staircase backstage.
Whoa.
But there ain't no ghost, I say.
Buried the lead there also, like very casually. Oh, it pushed me down the stairs.
Yeah, I feel like that should have been its own sentence at the very least. As cast and crew, we started to take this entity very seriously. I brought my sage and crystals the next day to cleanse the theater. I insisted we keep lights, even very dim ones, on backstage at all times, and personally took it upon myself to make sure we left a light on for the ghost when we left every night. I went up into a secret prop closet where all the good props are hidden, and found some battery-operated candles to place around backstage to leave on for the run of the show. We never switched these lights off, and I left a lamp on backstage every night as well. I began talking to the ghost when I entered the theater and asking it for love and support as we told this traumatizing story every night. Okay. I think that's fine. It feels scary. I'm just
don't talk to it.
I know. I'm like, ask it for love and support. Look at it. Okay. Our stage manager kept seeing the shadow, but the energy lightened up immensely. One night in the middle of the show, I heard something above me in the grid and later asked our house manager who was up there during the show. He said, I saw something up there, but it wasn't one of us. And we knew it was our new friend. I don't like that. We're saying friend.
Climbing things.
We're climbing things. Yeah. Yikes. After a very exhausting few weeks of performing the show, we packed up a few things and headed out to celebrate. I hung back for a few minutes to make sure the candle lights were left on and spent a few minutes thanking the ghost for cooperating during our run. As I was walking out the stage door, my arms full of my belongings from the dressing room, sage and crystals on the top of the stack, something reached from behind me, grabbed the sage, and pulled it back out of my arms.
Ooh.
I laughed out loud as I picked it up, saying, "Don't worry, we will be back. The lights are on." You are way too blasé about this. You are way too just like, ha ha ha. I knew we'd be friends
I just
by
got
the end.
pushed down the stairs, but we're good.
We came back a few days later to take the set down and clean up the theater. And everything went smoothly. Again, I was the last one putting things away and walking out. I had a box full of the battery-operated candles I had put out for the ghost a few weeks earlier. I had turned them all off and was walking them back up to the prop closet. As I walked out of the theater, the candles started turning themselves on one by one. Ugh, in your arms? No. See, this is like a recipe for this thing to attach itself to you, I feel like. Like, if you're trying to bond with it before anyone else, then when everyone leaves the theater one day, like, it's coming right on home with you, right?
I mean, I guess so. You're the expert.
Okay, expert, no. But, like, if I were to write a horror movie, that's the easiest plot to go through. Like, that feels like it's what's going to happen. We're pretty sure that the amount of psychic waste produced by this show attracted or conjured the first ghost anyone had experienced in this theater. We have only seen him one more time a few months later during a TED Talk about trauma. Thank you guys for your awesome show. Cheers. So I guess it really is attracted to like traumatic energy.
Well, I was going to ask you if you think that it was like a ghost that showed up because of the trauma, or if you think that it was like manifested by like the emotional distress.
I mean, nice to hear the word expert, but I am not one. I'm just taking a guess here. I would guess that if all of the cast and crew, or at least the cast, if they were going to perform this traumatic show really properly and they wanted to really give it all of their energy, they were probably putting out they're probably working with their own trauma to like give the best performance possible. And it was all that trauma stirred up that conjured something. I don't know. That's my guess. Let's ask him. The ghost.
Oh. It's like, who?
All right. This is our last one from Elise.
Elise uses she, her pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
And the subject is the Budget Immortal Portal poem/song. This is going to be really difficult for me.
Up. Wait, so it's actually, someone actually wrote a poem song. Shut up. Okay, for those of you who don't know, we should tell them about Immortal Portal. If you've listened to the episode, you'll probably know, but if you're new here, you might not know. Do you want to do it or me?
No, I want you to do it.
So the Immortal Portal, I'm hoping this is the right reference. I think Elise was trying to help us out here. It says episode 194 is the one that we probably talked about this. But you and I were driving somewhere and found out or relearned maybe that Zach Bagans actually has music on Spotify. And I don't know if it's necessarily his music, but someone
it's his in a way.
Someone on Spotify, their version of music is playing really like head-banging hardcore metal. Yeah. 2 clips of Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures talking. And one of the songs is called Immortal Portal, and it's me and Allison's favorite of the Zach Bagans songs.
It's so good.
It's it's like you hate love it.
The more you listen to it, though, the better it gets.
After like the 10th time of us like ironically laughing to it, we were both like, that's kind of a good song. It's kind of like, and then it transformed into me referring to Christine's labor and delivery as her Immortal Portal, which became a really
horrible.
That's horrible. But it's too late because it's already part of the And That's Why We Drink canon. So anyway, someone has written us a poem song about that.
If this doesn't say holy shit, I am gonna be so unhappy.
Please go listen to that song, by the way. It's a real doozy.
Okay, so we already know that I can't read, so I'm probably gonna mess this up. But
are you gonna try to do it in a Zach Bagans voice?
Okay. I don't watch as much Zach.
Just sound like a frat dude who's always holding in a burp, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
You'll be fine.
Okay. God, so I don't know why this is making me so nervous. I feel like I'm about to do karaoke or something.
To the masses.
Eternal Transferal. The Budget Immortal Portal. I think that's the title.
Oh, okay. Eternal Transferal. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And That's Why We Drink. Exploring the paranormal brink. Drinking wine or fraps or shakes. All the spooky stories you can take.
Oh, okay.
Murderers and black-eyed kids. True crime encrypted.
That's what's up, though. Okay.
UFOs and men in black. Into it, we will crack.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay.
Tangents happen. We devolve. Crazy cases left unsolved.
Who is this person? Oh, hang on. Amazing.
Zach attacks on bagel bites. The never-ending Twitter fright.
Ah!
Christine attaches to petrified fruit and pretends it's not a hoot.
That's the truth.
Scary stories every week. Saturday sneak peeks.
Oh!
Bonus listener stories with CK.
Someone's a Patreon.
Scottish accent takes my breath away. Props to Eva. Write that down. Don't forget. Sassy the Clown.
Honk honk.
Sightings, voice, haunted dolls. Who knows what lurks in the halls? Mama madness and emails. Linda's fashion and Renata's tales.
Stop it.
Here we go into the Reddit void to see how people got annoyed.
Yeah, well, ain't that the truth?
Calling you out.
Yeah, way to insert that into this excellent sonnet.
Geo, Scorpios, and Geminis. Motive, opportunity, and alibis.
Shut the fuck up. That's so
The
cool.
podcast that forged best friends. I kind of hope it never ends. Holy shit.
Holy shit. That's amazing. Wow. Brava. I'm so sad that was not part of our cryptid poetry slam. But well done. I wish there was like some I should have been doing some of that jazz music because I'm snapping with it. That was so good.
We really should have put on some hard metal in the background though.
I mean, wow. Well done. Well done. Who is that? Elise?
Yeah.
Elise nailed it. What a great way to end the first month.
Yeah.
Wow. Good job. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Eva, also for putting together all of the stories and finding these perfect little gems. Thank you, Allison. This is unfortunately our last recording together.
Yeah.
Until further notice. But I appreciate you being here.
Technically, I can say I've been on 2 years in a row.
Wow. 2 years. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see everyone for our February 1st listeners episode. And Christine will be back officially. And when this comes out, if you happen to be coming to our first show, because we're going on tour, when this comes out, we're going back on tour finally 5 days from now. And I will be absolutely a fucking wreck. So please, if you are coming to our live show, I'm just going to need you to hype me up, even if it's not good. It's going to be good, but even if you notice I'm nervous, I'm going to need you to just really be there for us.
Everyone take your laugh, double it, and then double that, and then that'll be okay.
Yeah, please just be proud of me. But anyway, we are very excited to be going back on tour, although I will now officially not be home all the time with Allison, but we got to end it on a sweet spot recording. So
yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Or neutral New Year.
Oh, maybe it's a sad year. I don't know.
We don't know.
Happy old year. I don't know. Happy 2022. And fingers crossed this one goes well. And
why would you say that right at the end? We were doing so well.
JK. I was just kidding. I hope it goes terribly.
You don't hope anything at all.
I hope nothing.
Okay.
And
that's
why
we
drink.